Well, it's been 10 years since Hurricane Sandy descended on the east coast of the United States. It was the worst storm to hit New York City in centuries, flooding nearly 20% of the Big Apple. Since then, the state has been working to become more resilient to climate change, and many there say part of building cities of the future involves looking for nature-based solutions. Gabrielle Fahmy reports.
In the last 4 decades, New York City has dramatically changed. The coastline went from housing factories to people. But as temperatures around the world rise, so does the risk of flooding, especially for an island like Manhattan. In some parts of the U.S., people have turned to a bold solution: building a seawall.
It attenuates the waves, so it slows down the strength, the velocity of the waves as they approach the shore, especially during high tide events.
But human-made barriers can come at a cost. Concrete seawalls only risk intensifying surges at neighboring beaches. They also destroy ecosystems. Earlier this year, the UN warned it could make the effects of climate change worse in the long run. So instead, here on the south tip of Staten Island, they've decided to build a living reef. These near-shore breakwaters are made up of a series of rock piles, and on top of it, living oysters, 1 billion of them. The project's been collecting shells from dozens of restaurants in the city and transferring them to beds where new living oysters can take root. Oysters filter water and attract other marine life. The idea is to replicate reefs that are naturally found in oceans throughout the planet, providing vital habitat and at the same time breaking storm waves and fighting shoreline erosion.
The Living Breakwaters is like a seminal, super innovative, really inspiring project. And for all those reasons, it's super important. Like it's the kind of project that sets up a new paradigm, like sets up a new way of doing business. And I think we're all watching it carefully for that.
The $100 million Living Breakwaters effort is on track to be completed by 2024, and scientists are watching closely.
I think we would have to see how it works out. And I think it's certainly, a whole lot better than just building up seawalls. Seawalls are biologically useless. You'll get a few little algae maybe growing on it, but you need to provide much better habitat.
These kinds of designs might take different shapes depending on the place. In Boston, for example, scientists have begun working on what they've called the Emerald Tutu, a string of vegetation mats to protect the city from flooding. But they're part of an emerging approach to climate resilience that argues we should be building with nature rather than against it. Gabrielle Fahmy, CNA, New York.